Olivia, Anya, congratulations on Thoroughbred. It's so fantastic. I saw it at the premiere yesterday. Is it the first time that you guys have seen the film?
We'd seen it before once, but both separately on our own in a very stale screening room.
I saw it on my phone, so it was definitely a very different experience to actually like see it.
Yeah, and how does it feel to be back at Sundance? Because you guys have both been here before with sort of breakout movies, The Witch and Meet Girl and the Dying Girl. Do you feel different? Is the vibe different? I mean, I'm sure before sort of wide-eyed because both movies did so well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the first time it was so overwhelming that you can't really, capture anything. And this time, at least I feel a lot more calm. And like I'm coming back to a place that I know some people and you can see your friends and you can relax a little bit more.
Yeah, and I just had different. I had just had a different perception of what it was going to be the first time I came. I just thought I was going to be just having fun and like going skiing and getting drunk and watching movies, but I didn't realise I had to like do press all day and stuff. But now I've padded it so I can get to do those things around press
and celebrate.
Yeah,
absolutely
as well. Well, the movie is so interesting and tense and intense, and I'm really curious, like when you guys first read the script, sort of what your thoughts were, how the script came across. How did you come across the script? Tell me a little bit about the process of getting involved.
I think we both read it first as a play because it was written as a play, and Corey he's such a talented writer and he really created this lush sort of world that we could inhabit. And I mean, for me, it was definitely the relationship between the two of us that really got me in there. I really wanted to play with another strong, talented female and kind of like play off each other, so I was really attracted to that.
Corey's also, when he wrote it, a 27-year-old man, and he wrote these...
27?
Yeah.
He was so young.
How does he see into our souls like that?
I don't know.
He knows.
Exactly, but he wrote
He knows.
two very in-depth teenage girls, and I just thought it was stellar. And also, like, when I read it, I wasn't really sure that Corey can be a girl's name, can be a boy's name, so I wasn't really sure what his gender was. I just kind of, I think in my head I assumed that a woman must have written this, and he just blew me away. And the character Amanda as well was just, I've never read anything like her before.
I've never seen anything like her before. I mean, you were talking a little bit in the Q&A about prepping this character because I feel like both characters, it would be a challenge not to judge them, and they're also they're very suppressed, which you can't play suppressed as an actor. You have to lift them off the screen. So tell me about the research process and grounding all of their sort of psychological issues in reality.
Well, I started, like I said in the Q&A, I started to research mental illness, but then I didn't want to get locked into a certain mental illness because she's just so all over the charts, and she's been diagnosed with every mental illness under the sun. So, and she doesn't even know what she's got. And so, for an actor, selfishly, I just thought I based her in a reality where she has repressed so much of her emotions that they're just so hard to access. And when there's a scene where Amanda is inebriated, and you finally see like a glimmer of vulnerability, because she's not in control of her inhibitions. So I tried to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's Lily's someone that I think we all know someone like her, someone that, underneath this shiny, polished, everything is fine surface is just kind of like this bundle of nerves and tension. And I always felt that she was kind of like one, wrong sentence away from a mental breakdown. But I think the character was so well fleshed out from the script that I really felt her the second I read her. Corey really knows his characters and really kind of allowed us to be free with them, but to know who they were.
Tell me about shooting in this location, because that space, like I love when Anton Yelkin, oh my gosh, it was so wonderful and sad to watch. We can't even talk about it, I'm gonna start crying. But shooting in that space and getting sort of comfortable in that, tell me about like where this location came from, where you were shooting. The house is like such another character in the movie.
Absolutely, I mean the house is crazy. We actually, we stripped away a lot of the crazy from the house.
There was more crazy?
There was more crazy, absolutely.
Describe the crazy.
Faux marble for a house that's that gigantic and that rich.
The top floor was just full of dolls, just like tons of dolls and like children's paraphernalia. It was a strange place, but
It was a bit of a time capsule.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. But we were so lucky actually because we lived a 5-minute walk away from that house, and so we were very sort of like centered in this place called Cohasset, and I think the house definitely gives the movie a certain kind of eerie, weird vibe.
Yeah, it's foreboding.
Yeah.
For sure. It's just so massive. It's like a looming presence. The whole movie.
Even that first shot in the car, it's like yeah.
Yeah.
But it was also fun because we were all in there together. So like everybody was in this house the entire time, and I think we had like a week out of the house.
Yeah, that and out of a 4-week shoot, we had like a week where we were elsewhere, but like it was amazing because we got to walk to set every day.
Yeah.
And feel more acquainted with it, because I feel like something like that could be sort of daunting, like working in that space. But there's some amazing tracking shots, and the DP shot A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yes.
He's awesome.
Tell me about working with Corey and working with the DP, especially because this film is so intimate. And I know actors in the past have said that the DP is like, you have to be very comfortable in that relationship because they're real in your face. So tell me about sort of that dynamic.
Well, Lyle, especially for this, and especially to capture that sort of noir essence to the movie, he loves to work with light and shadow.
Yeah.
And so there would be like huge lighting setups, but I think, I don't really like to watch the monitor or see what he's capturing, because I just like, what the fuck am I doing with my face? But then seeing it on screen and realising what his process was and how and visually how that is incorporated with the intensity and the suspense of the whole movie as well, when you can only see kind of one half of the face, and it's just I think he did such a beautiful job.
Yeah. You have to be close to all these people because you're spending so much time with them, and especially when you're working with all of these incredibly talented creative artists, you're trusting each other with your art, and so you have to have that sort of basis of friendship. And Corey as a director is just such a pleasure to work with. He's really collaborative but so graceful. Like, this was his first film and he just waltzed onto set and just knew what he was doing and felt really at ease, or if he didn't let us know. And it was a real pleasure to work on this film because everyone was collaborating to try and make something, bigger and keep elevating it. And actually, we obviously leave the set once we finish acting, and then you have, the music and everything else, and finally seeing the finished product, you really do see that the score, what Lyle was doing, the lighting, everything is just, it really elevates the movie.
Working in harmony. Well, I think a scene that I just thought was so wonderful because, and I want to know about actually shooting this one scene and prepping for it. The scene with, I don't want to give it away, but with Anton when you pull the gun on each other, and I was like watching it, I'm like, this is such like a scene from Hedda Gabler or something. Like it takes so much. I'm curious about rehearsal. There's like physicality. There's humor. Did you rehearse that scene? Tell me about working with Anton and Corey to sort of build that.
That was all.
It's pretty organic.
Yeah, and it seemed fairly quick as well. They did it in a morning. That bled into an afternoon. But then I remember shooting other things that day, and we worked really really quick, and it was like I said, it was really organic, and it didn't need that much finessing. Obviously we had a
fight.
Yeah.
There's a fight. So
Yeah.
Surely you rehearsed
The stunt.
that.
Double,
yeah, and
double.
no.
Sorry.
It was
I
me.
meant stunt rehearsal.
And there's a fair few bruises, and obviously there are things that are smashed, and Anton wanted to go again and do it a few more times, and I was like, no, we can't do it again. He was like, no, it's fine, I'm not bothered. But
Totally fine.
it wasn't as I thought it was going to be more like sugar glass, but it was quite.
It was hard.
It was hefty.
The lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like, is he
No,
okay?
that was really heavy. No, but to try for both of us to try and be so deadpan after that was horrendous.
Well, what were some of the challenges of shooting this movie? Because I know you guys have done sort of horror, thriller, dark pieces before, but this is dark on a very deep level, and I think dark in an exploration of millennial women in a way. So tell me about some of the challenges of portraying these characters and living in these characters for the 4-week shoot.
I'm very protective and loving of my characters, and so when we were on set, randomly people would be like, oh, you know, Lily's not a very good person. I'd immediately be like, no, you can't say that. Like, don't you understand where she's come from and everything else? And then when we actually wrapped the movie, I did call a friend of mine and say, she's pretty toxic, isn't she? Like, oh, it felt strange. She's actually the only character I've not kept an article of clothing from. I wanted to leave her in the movie. Yeah. I think it's just, you know, it's a job. You go into it, you learn your character, and you hopefully do them justice, and you move on.
Also, you know, there's so many films that depict, you know, the stereotypical archetypal teenage woman, and I just find them
Wrong.
just so unoriginal and just such a weird perception, and there are girls like that, but not that we interact with when we were teenagers, and so to try and make it as three-dimensional as possible
And honest, I think.
Yeah, and just give, and also, you know, Corey's such a wonderful person that we just wanted to do everything to do justice for the film as well.
Well, I think you guys did. So congratulations again. It was amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.